Hey there, gangs and sickos. I'm Clark Macbeth. I hope you saw the channel title as well. Anyway, yeah, my thumbnail was not a lie. That is my electric scooter. It is named Sparky. It is one of the many of that model that is still being sold to this day. Well, actually, that was true when I bought it. As of now, this year, 2025, I believe it is discontinued, but it is still resold a lot to this day. It is a Ninebot G30X, and it can go 40 miles. About 60 kilometers or so on a single charge. Now, if you're fat, that will go down because this is not a car. This is an electric scooter. So, your weight and its weight and the power in its motor and what it can do is gonna have more of a difference on, something that's just like 20 kilograms. You pick it up, you put it down, and you can lift it up and down, and it's a really great thing. I find that this device to be an amazing way to get around your own community. That's really the beauty of this. Transportation. And the shameful thing about that is because of, how do I put this? Because of a bunch of shitty opportunists, the reputation of this particular scooter, which was in a lot of their fleet, and was picked out because of how durable it is. And also, because of the whole eScooter for rent situation, they got a very bad reputation. There were people who were seeing these on their streets without their permission. No one was riding them. They were just there, and they invited chaos. They made chaos themselves. And these are better off as a personal device anyway. They will last a few years at least. I can expect to use mine for at least 5 years from the date of purchase if all the specs are accurate, which from what I can tell and the measurements I've made, they are, especially when the tire is filled up all the way, maybe a little more. It meets, maybe even exceeds my expectations at times, even though my personal body mass is above the maximum. So this Chinese company kind of outdid what no American seems to be interested in making, and that is a solution to many of our problems. And the only thing you really need to do to use this safely is to put on an extra piece of equipment. Learn from my mistakes, people. See. Feel. Don't actually feel. I need to say that even though you're not actually in the same room with me, but look at that. I had to get wrist surgery because these things break wrists all the time at rates and records of which the state still has. It's very gruesome, very common, and I do believe, even though I ran in an election and did not win, that time I do want to try again at some point. But anyway, it should be the law that you have to wear wrist guards too. You need the helmet. Obviously, you don't want your brain falling out. And you need the wrist guards because if you're going to go at a velocity of 10, 20, 30 kilometers per hour is the maximum on this. We walk from 5, 10 if we're brisk kilometers an hour. But with these e-scooters, you go at 30, and even at 25, you start to get queasy and wonder, as you're riding this, as the wind is hitting your body, is this safe? And then we have crazy models that can go like 100 kilometers an hour. Highway velocity for the United States, whether it's Texas or Hawaii. That's perfectly safe and legal velocity, but you can't go on the interstate with that. But I guess the point I'm trying to make here with this video is that, yeah, scooters are seen as cringe. Riding scooters, e-scooters is seen as a little cringe by the general public, and I kind of do a sarcastic grin with a lot of people every time I ride it, including the drivers next to me, because I'm an American too. Okay, I have a copy. Let me grab the copy. I'm more of an American. And if me riding a scooter makes you feel upset, well, I'm sorry. According to this and another one further down the line, I think it's one of them Civil War ones. I have free speech rights too, asshole. I'm not going to feel very sorry that for every 100 kilometers traveled, I'm going to be spending like a penny, and you're going to be spending a few dollars, like 10 in some cases, at this very time, before the full impact of the economic decisions being made by the government right now hit, and they will hit in a few months. But the real point of this video is that the solutions are already around us to get out of this mess. Like, if you're worried about the price of gas going up, you might... Speaking of gas, if you're worried about the price of gas going up, there's already fixes that exist, that they have been innovated, that could save your pocketbook a lot of money. And even if saving money isn't your biggest priority right now, it can, if you time it correctly, it can make every dollar you have do more. Like actual efficiency. Like you can go 100 kilometers for pennies instead of $10 in a single trip. And I think what our infrastructure needs is choice and respect. Because no, I don't want to drive to work every day. I don't want to drive to work ever. I pay for my own gasoline, by the way. I have to do that, except no, I don't. For less than the annual cost of fuel, I have something electric. I don't know if they cost that much now. It might have gone up a little, and I mean, even if you want like a local Minnesota option, there's a store called PedEgo near where I live. The solutions to our problems already exist, and we shouldn't be too chicken shit. I have no other word or expression to put that as, by the way. Why are we so chicken shit in like escaping our routines just a little bit, even if it will benefit our lives a lot down the road? Literally, if you're riding an electric scooter, if you see someone riding an electric scooter, they know more than you know about money, and you know that, and you should be, you shouldn't be. They're riding a scooter, you're riding a car, they're riding a scooter as far away from your car as possible because of common sense. If that happens to be on the sidewalk and they're looking directly in front of their face and being maybe a little fidgety at times just to make sure no pedestrian is hit. None. So be it. This isn't a zero-sum game. I can ride a scooter, and people can ride scooters whenever they want. You can try it. I already gave you the advice. You can try riding an electric scooter on your own with wrist guards and a helmet at minimum, and if that's not enough to calm your initial anxiety, and again, that's the minimum that should be required by law to get on one of these. I am trying to show off in my community by example and mistake. You could try it. You don't have to, though. You can still be the only man in your Jeep Wagoneer on your commute to Minneapolis. The only reason I feel the need to express apathy is because we live in a world that celebrates antipathy. And it wrecks my mind. The ones out there that still are thinking clearly, they probably saw this shirt way more than a minute into the video. Just didn't notice until after that. And I want America to think about a state they might lose to another country, if I must be perfectly honest with how I feel about the situation right now. And that's also going to be a whole country that America is going to lose to because it treats its people so poorly that it has to make up conflict. Like, should the roads be for cars or scooters? Well, I don't really like my mayor. I ran for city council over that. I did not win. But he made the correct decision. He listened to the whole... I did not input this, by the way, because I know deep down that most of the people who live around me, they might be annoyed with me from time to time. But they're not idiots. You're not idiots. They went with the first bike-ish lane ever. Like, it's supposed to be for bikes and scooters, and they have a sidewalk, and it's all completely separate, and it goes to the city's biggest employer. This is how things are supposed to work. And when a de facto Republican mayor that I really don't like, he kind of makes everything around here feel uncomfortable with, I'm trying to be sensible all the time, but not really making sense of anything I'm doing, bit that somehow worked for over 20 years. But you know what? Despite all that, I still know a good decision when I see it, and I can congratulate Mr. Stale Steffi of Maple Grove for doing that. it, man. That's something we're supposed to chase forever. That's the meaning of life to me. Improvement and a chance, as many chances as possible, to look back at the improvements in our wake. That's the world I was born in, and it is crashing hard now. So yeah, Sparky the scooter is going to return to my community, and there is a concept of security through exposure that is, or should I say was, before the illegal, all of them, Doge cuts and hacks against the federal government, and by definition, you, the people in this country, all of you, not just us, all of you too. What I'm trying to say is, we're all flawed, man. That doesn't mean we can't improve. And there's always going to be improve. And we can improve without taking decisions away from people. That's what really upsets me about recent developments in big tech. I want the choice to go to a Google, not you, Home Assistant thingy. Cancel that. Never mind. I want the choice to be able to search like the late 90s.
Here's the result I found from search.
Without having to find an open source alternative and having to promote open source alternatives. Like, shouldn't Google static be a thing? Or...
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
Well, it's nice that you're listening, Gemini, or Assistant. Yeah, I mean, I want the choice to, whether I want algorithmic ads. I want to have the choice of whether or not I can pay to skip all the ads on YouTube, and that's actually the best way to support creators. By far. If you don't want to, you can watch the ads. I want a world that respects the people in it, no matter what the technology is. And believe me, I'm building some of that. Basically on the side at this point. But with the scooter, there's room for improvement. Like, I would find a better business. I think I have one now, actually. Don't you think it would be better if we just had electric scooters that were safer than they currently are and addressed all the concerns of everyone in an automated, automatic, magic way, so that even if you are the most pearl-clutching idiot in Florida, and yes, that is the one they're the most sensitive to, those kinds of people. Idiot is the word they hate the most. If you are some pearl-clutching idiot in Florida, even you can't justify banning e-scooters. Not that they're even trying, it's just the seniors just love them too much. So maybe Florida's a bad example, except no, it's not. Florida doesn't respect its population. America doesn't really seem to expect its population anywhere. And anywhere you can feel that, it's because there's a massive stent in the state government keeping freedom flowing in this area for now. I want to be able as an American citizen to, yes, I am gay, I am a furry, but that shit shouldn't matter. I shouldn't have to fear the judgment of anyone for perfectly lawful, and honestly, that completely notwithstanding, perfectly moral, ethical, or at the very least, helping me appreciate life and being on your earth more. I shouldn't have to fear for my life over that. You shouldn't have to fear for your life over that. I know that there are people who want the safety electric scooter, one that by default, somehow, whether it's an active or passive thing, I mean, it has stability bars. You can't fall over it and break your wrist anyway. And as far as helmets, well, there are cyclists who can go a lot fast. There are cyclists who can go faster than the scooter I'm riding. I have been passed by them, and I am grateful every time. I don't feel judged when that happens, because I don't want to live in a judgmental hellscape. I know I live here. I know some of that's unavoidable. In like the heart of downtown Minneapolis, or if you're picking your nose and doing vapes in Brainerd, okay? Can we respect each other enough to accept the choice of transportation and celebrate when there are more of them coming out? I think everyone would feel better if we could all get in that mindset, but unfortunately, YouTube algorithm, that is an extremely popular opinion. Everyone will be interested in seeing a video like this, and if you share it, it's only going to lead to a wave of more wholesome sounding content like this with a little bit of edge. I think that's what everyone wants right now. That can be a long-term chain of videos that people watch to the very end of most of the time. Yeah, this can make money too. And I mean, I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm a social democrat. I believe that if it is a need, the government should find a way to just give it to people. How that need is made can involve the public and the private sector, as it should. There should be people competing to out-innovate each other, but the economy should also be in a sound state of mind, which America has not been. I'm not sure it has ever been, to be honest. There are other countries like Canada and Denmark who had that for a while, and they knew they got that before we ever could, and then we robbed that of them. How can you expect them to not be pissed at us? But the reason behind all of the anger at America right now is honestly that we're pissed at ourselves. And we feel a need to make up conflict where there should not be. If anything, the opposite of conflict. Like the Blue Line train going to Maple Grove would have been a mature and badass decision by the mayor at the time, but he didn't allow it. It could have been done in a way where all the noise concerns would have just straight up not been a thing, The North Star line can operate without a horn. But when your mind's in a everything has to be fighting all the time situation, you can't see the beauty in innovation anymore. The world can't get better. It doesn't want you to get better if it is trying to make you think that way. And with what freedom we have left as a country that currently still has Minnesota in it, this isn't 1984. You can turn it off and all the skills are still there. You can downscale, you can upscale, you can do it at different speeds. You can do it with a pen. You can do it with a keyboard. You can do it with a smartphone. But I do believe that going forward, people should still be doing. And we can build a better tomorrow without the need for all the chaos that has been happening since literally Ronald Reagan within America. It takes way fewer sacrifices than everyone seems to think it does. And that's what I want everyone thinking. Every time they see or hear or get a reference of Sparky the Scooter. And, you know, I'm sorry I lied. It's not that Sparky will return. Sparky has. I rode the scooter today. I mean, climate change bad, but if it's going to be 25 degrees Celsius, I got to familiarize myself with that now. Fuck you, President Trump. 25 degrees Celsius, yeah, I'm going to ride the scooter through the pretty park trail, even though it looks like shit right now, because it's March in Minnesota. It's still sunny, fresh air. And if I'm going to enjoy that more than a car commute today, I'm going to take it. If you can fit anything like that in your life, you should take it too. And as always, subscribe if you like, and share if you care. Please do.